my general and principle support for the Voluntary Euthanasia Bill. I think it is appropriate that this Parliament address this difficult yet important issue and give due consideration to what has been proposed by the member for Ashford. I've known the member for Ashford for many years, and she is a dedicated servant of this House and has been an advocate for people who, in many respects, could be described as people that need a voice, people that need the assistance of this chamber. She's always been an advocate for those who need the support of others to advocate on their behalf. And in this respect, she is seeking to raise her voice on behalf of those people who are suffering illnesses which is bringing them to the end of their life, and seeking to alleviate their suffering is utterly consistent with her life's work. And I acknowledge everything that she has done, and this is a very substantial proposition. I respect to those who are seeking to amend the legislation. This is complex legislation, and even if one accepts the principle, there is no doubt there is more than one way of achieving this ultimate objective, which is to alleviate suffering for those in the terminal stages of illnesses. I understand the member for Ashford and those proposing amendments are still in discussions, and so I do ask for those discussions to continue to occur, and that this matter continue to progress as we seek to resolve some of those questions about the definitions, which are so central to this question of voluntary euthanasia. There's no doubt that voluntary euthanasia is a complicated and testing topic to grapple with, because obviously it deals with that most fundamental question, the question of life itself. And so it's natural that there are going to be strongly held views about this matter. There are many perspectives to consider: moral, ethical, legal, medical, professional, chief amongst them. And given virtually every one of us has seen firsthand, or has in some way been forced to confront the topic, there are a plethora of viewpoints which come from personal experiences. I remember one of the earliest stories my father told me about his father, who was injured in World War II, was of him as a young boy just peeking through a crack in the doorway, where he witnessed his father on his knees begging the doctor to end his life. And this is not an uncommon set of circumstances where people are suffering gravely and are seeking relief, and presently the law prevents people from supplying that relief. So there is no doubt that many jurisdictions and many politicians have been asked to consider this matter, and it's been a source of challenge for us. In fact, it does challenge us as lawmakers about precisely what the role of law is. Is it our role to use the law to express a particular moral viewpoint? Is it our role to have the law to be a permissive proposition to allow those who seek to take advantage of the facility to act voluntarily in their own interests as they perceive it? That these are challenges to these fundamental questions about how we see our roles as politicians. It seems to me that I must accede to the wishes, as I understand, of the people in my community that are asking me to give them the opportunity to take control of their lives, and in fact the timing of the ending of their lives in circumstances where that end is near and they are the subject of what in many cases is what feels like unbearable suffering. We know that many jurisdictions have grappled with this matter. I know that in April, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, unveiled a bill that would legalise doctor-assisted death for people suffering from serious and incurable illness that has brought them enduring psychological, physical suffering. I also know that if the bill passes, Canada will join a small but growing number of places that permit some form of assisted dying. They include the nations of Belgium, the Netherlands, Switzerland and Germany, and the American states of Oregon and Vermont. One of the most eloquent and rational voices calling for change in recent times is Andrew Denton, whom among many things, he's a former ABC television presenter. And I had a chat with Andrew just recently when he visited Adelaide, and I thought he made many compelling arguments. His viewpoint in favour of voluntary euthanasia has been shaped by the experience of watching his father pass away. In a recent article, Andrew wrote the following: "Watching my dad Kit die was the most profoundly shocking experience of my life. He was 67, and although clearly dying of heart failure, and obviously in great pain, he was assisted to die in the only way Australia will then, and now, would allow. He was given ever-increasing doses of sedatives to settle the pain." So, Madam Deputy Speaker, from my viewpoint, I can see little point in forcing extremely ill people to needlessly endure pain that is clearly not going to stop until it consumes them completely. Why should a person who is dying, yet in full control of their mental capacities and therefore making choices with a sound mind, be told that everyone else's wishes must override theirs and they must die slowly? It seems to me that this matter, the specific piece of legislation, will come down to definitions, and that's what the important work does need to continue. Nevertheless, I believe this Parliament does need to find a way to come up with laws that give genuine choice to those who are dying and that also put in place proper safeguards. I think that this will be a mark of the strength of this institution if it is able to grapple with these difficult questions and come up with wise solutions. And so I do invite all members to permit this bill at least to proceed to the next stage while we can have these important discussions. And I commend the bill to the House.